Good afternoon, everybody. We'll just give it a minute or two before we start, just as people arrive in the room. For those just arriving in the room, we're just going to give it another minute, just for stragglers to arrive. Cool. Okay, everybody, if we can start, that would be great. Can I just check everyone has their microphones switched off? Good afternoon from a very autumnal London. I'm just looking out the window here. It's very nice to virtually meet you all. My name is Professor Michael Short. I'm Deputy Head of the school, Bartlett School of Planning, and Professor in Planning and Urban Conservation. It's very nice to meet you all. I'm joined by my two colleagues, Sian and Maya. Would you like to say hello?
Yeah, hello, good morning, everyone. Here to support Michael with the event today, and we'll be answering some questions in the chat.
Yes, good morning all. Nice to have you here.
Thank you both. Okay, what I want to do is give a relatively short presentation, just covering a few areas outlined here, including an introduction to both UCL and the Bartlett, talk through our master's courses, talk a little bit about the student experience, careers, and a little bit about the application process. The real value, I think, though, is in the question and answers after my short presentation. There is a question and answers function in the meeting, so please do drop your questions as they pop into your head. What I'll do is I'll deal with those after the presentation, so they'll accumulate throughout that presentation, and Sian will help me articulate them, and I'll see if I can answer. The key thing here actually is you can see my email address on the opening slide. Please do make a note of that, and I'm very happy to receive direct questions should you think of any more subsequently. Okay, without further ado, obviously you've all heard of UCL. It's very exciting to say that we are world leading, not only as a university, but also in our subject. You'll note that it's our bicentenary next year in 2026. So should you apply and get accepted onto the program of your choice, you'll be joining in the 200-year anniversary. And there's lots of events planned, both in the Bartlett and more widely at the UCL. As you can see, we're number one for architecture and the built environment in the QS World rankings. The faculty in the school are number one in architecture, construction, surveying and planning. London is the best city in the world, but also specifically for students, and also our research is world leading. And I start with that really as a kind of plea to you to come to us. We are the best in the world. We have some of the best staff and students in the world, and you'd be very welcome. I think what I'd say is that UCL offers a combination of academic excellence, of vibrant city life and diverse opportunities, both socially and in terms of employment. As you can see there, we're ranked amongst the world's top universities. Our competitors are international. I'm thinking UCLA, thinking Columbia in New York. These are our competitors. The city itself provides a rich cultural and academic environment with numerous libraries, museums, professional bodies, as well as a diverse range of industries and careers. And one of the messages I'll hopefully get across today is how important those relationships with industry are to us and our students. One of the most exciting things I like to say about UCL, and one of the reasons I came here myself as an academic 10 years ago, is that UCL was the first university in the UK to be open to a diverse range of staff and students. In other words, prior to that point 200 years ago, you had to be a member of the established church to get to university. UCL changed that, so students and staff from other religions, from other cultures, and women were allowed to come on an equal basis for the first time in the country. And I say that really is, there's a radicalness to the way in which we think, the way in which we research, and the way in which we position ourselves in the world. So please do have that in mind. Mostly these are pictures of me talking, but the School of Planning specifically, of which I'm deputy head, our head of school is Professor Mike Racco, who some of you will hopefully have heard of, but we're one of the oldest and most respected schools of planning in the world. We're a research-led planning school with an international reputation as a centre of academic excellence in research, research-linked teaching, and also policy and practice interaction. We have a diverse staff body and a diverse international outlook. And I suppose I'd reiterate this idea that we, as academics, are actually at the cutting edge not only of research and teaching, but also of practice. Many of us are practitioners who work in academia. Here you can see myself and a colleague from the University of Birmingham, Dr. Sarah Hassan, talking at the World Urban Forum last year in Cairo, Egypt. We're policy makers, we're policy drivers, and we're very much interested and engaged with the interface of academia and practice, which makes it a really exciting place to work, I have to say. One of the things that I think is really useful for you to do today and in your research in the coming days and weeks, you may have an idea of the programs that you're interested in, and I'll talk about those briefly in a moment. But I think often one of the most useful things you can do at this stage as you prepare to apply, as you prepare your applications and your personal statements, is to have a look at what the staff are doing. I show you my own a screen grab from my own UCL web pages, more because I'd updated it over the weekend, so it's actually quite fresh. But actually, this is where you get a sense of what kind of work we're doing, what we're publishing, and how the work that we do links to the programs. So each of the program directors, who I'll mention in a moment, will have a web page. You'll be able to see what their research interests are, what their teaching interests are, but also what they've been writing about recently. And as you can tell from that, it's a screen grab at the top of my publications. You know, that really covers everything from academic publications, in other words, peer-reviewed journal papers, to book chapters, to more practice-related pieces, opinion pieces. But by looking at colleagues' web pages, you really do get a sense of who's writing what do we think is important in the discipline at the moment, and what are we writing about? So I really, really do strongly recommend you do that when you get some time in the preparation of your applications. And that's just a page showing you some of the things linked to one of the classes that I run. So I used to run the 2-year M-Plan City Planning, which is now run by Dr. Juliana Martins, but I still run a studio on that program, which looks at conceptions of density. And I suppose I show you this not only to show you what I've been writing about recently, which may hopefully be interesting to you, but actually how those pieces of research and those publications drive the content in the modules and the classes that we run as academics for students. Okay, what I'll do now is because we have quite a few programs, forgive me, but I will read out some information about each, and I'll indicate who the program director for each of the programs is, so that you can look up their web pages and see what they're writing about in relation to their specialism. Something I really recommend you do, just to reiterate. So firstly, the MSc Housing and City Planning. This is led by my colleague, Dr. Iqbal Hamiduddin. In essence, shelter is one of the most basic human needs, yet few governments have adequately addressed the development of sufficient housing that is the right type, of the right quality, and in the right locations. This Urban Planning Masters course provides critical perspectives on the role of planning policy and practice in development, financing, and management of housing projects, and also strategies to reduce the environmental impact of housing. This program's designed for urban professionals and graduates seeking to specifically in housing. And obviously I can answer questions on these programs after my short presentation. The second program that we run is led by Dr. John Ward, and it's the MSc Infrastructure Planning, Appraisal and Development. This is a unique program which draws from the school's specialist academics in infrastructure planning. And just to say, infrastructure planning, like housing, is one of the specialisms that we're known for globally. Successful infrastructure projects have the power to deliver important services to populations while tackling global economic, environmental, and social challenges. This MSc is designed in collaboration with leading infrastructure practitioners to equip you with the necessary skills and knowledge to create holistic, robust, and sustainable infrastructure projects, preparing you for a successful career in infrastructure planning. And just to, sorry, I can't speak today. Just to reiterate the links that all of our programs have with practice. So you'll get to meet practitioners and employers throughout your time with us. Moving on to the MSc in International Planning, International City Planning rather. This is led by my colleague, Professor Sonia Abachi, who some of you may know, and it provides an international perspective on planning systems and cultures, urban theories and local practices, emphasizing comparative understanding across different national contexts. This urban planning master's degree prepares you to take on career opportunities across planning practice, policy and consultancy. With a strong network and practical field experiences, graduates are well equipped to drive sustainable urban development globally. This is actually also our only program where you will undertake field work that's assessed in an international location, given that it's an international program. So the next program is the MSc International Real Estate and Planning, IREP as it's known to us. This is led by my colleague, Dr. Chu-Lin Ke, and prepares you to build your career in real estate planning and urban policy. This master's degree explores the relationship between real estate markets and the planning systems around the world. You'll study the systems through which real estate markets operate and consider market mechanisms from the perspectives of investors, developers, and occupiers of the built environment, and their relationships between markets, policy, at various geographical scales. This is a unique program which draws from an exciting intersection of disciplines to prepare you for the world of work. It's a really dynamic program and very exciting. Oh, excuse me. Jumped over that, sorry, apologies. So the next program, we've got 6 more to go through, is led by my colleague, Professor Ben Clifford. This program equips students with the skills to address complex planning challenges and develop sustainable, resilient communities. With a focus on strategic, integrated and inclusive planning, this planning program prepares you for a successful career in city and regional planning, policy development and related fields. By the end of the degree, you'll be equipped to work across the whole range of jobs in planning in the UK and internationally. And this is, I think probably it's fair to say, the most popular core program in planning that we currently offer. And you're also able to take the program part-time as well as full-time. Our next program is the MSc in Sustainable Urbanism, which is led by Dr. Tsehwe Te and brings together urban sustainability theory, policy and design to tackle the impact of rapid urbanization on the environment and society. This master's degree is designed to teach you multidisciplinary skills and knowledge ready for a career in the built environment, focusing on urban sustainability or sustainable development. This is the course for you if you're passionate about a sustainable future for all. Our next program, the MSc Transport and City Planning, one of our specialist programs, is led by Professor Robin Hickman and blends cross-disciplinary insights on transport and urban planning. You'll engage with global debates and innovative strategies addressing the transition to sustainable urban mobility, seeking to understand how transport can support the sustainable city. Engaging with sustainable mobility trends, theories, and international cases, you'll develop a comprehensive skill set preparing for a dynamic career in transport and urban planning. It's one of the few remaining transport specialist masters left in the west of Europe and draws from cutting-edge research of staff like Professor Hickman and Professor Jonas de Vos. The next program is our MSc Urban Design and City Planning, which is led by my colleague and friend, Professor Pablo Sendra. It equips you with a multidisciplinary skill set crucial for careers in urban design, city planning, and related fields. You learn to use urban design as a creative planning tool, understanding the interplay between urban design and city planning. Combining theoretical knowledge and practical experience, you'll be well prepared for roles in urban planning and design, and indeed where those intersect, with opportunities in public authorities, government agencies, urban design practices, consultancies, and other international organizations. I used to run the Urban Design Masters many years ago, and it's excellent. It's a really good program. 2 more. The penultimate program that we run is an MSc in Urban Regeneration led by Professor Fangzhu Zhang, and it addresses the challenges of urban decline and the planned recovery of our neighborhoods and cities. This planning masters prepares you for a career leading urban regeneration efforts in neighborhoods, towns and cities globally, not just in this country. You'll gain essential skills and knowledge in the governance, planning, design and management of urban regeneration projects, considering human, financial, and government resources and the impact on communities. It's fair to say up to this point, all of these masters are available in 3 different modes. One full-time, 1 year-long full-time masters. They can be also taken as part-time routes, in other words, over 2 years. Each is also available as a modular flexible route. In other words, taking modules as you can and are able to, just as an aside. The final program that I'll mention, I'm not talking too much here, is the M-Plan City Planning, which, as I've already indicated, I ran until August this year. It's now run by my colleague, Dr. Juliana Martins. This is the only program in our suite that is a 2-year full-time program, and that's the only mode that you're able to take this master's program. It's our only 2-year program. In essence, you'll study spatial planning and comparative perspectives, gaining a comprehensive understanding of how to address planning issues in the UK and more globally. And actually, I think I'd say the 2 years gives you a lot of space to develop a broad knowledge of planning, to specialise through the course of electives, to take a 15,000-word dissertation, which is considerably longer than the other dissertations. And more importantly, in your final term of the 2nd year, you're able to choose between taking a placement, in other words, going to work in practice for a term, or studying abroad at one of our partner institutions, such as Columbia, UCLA, in Paris, Amsterdam, Stockholm, etc. So I hope you agree that there's a really exciting breadth of programs there, delivered in different modes by different staff. As I said, I think it's really helpful at this stage as you prepare an application is to look into what each of those program directors is writing about and researching and teaching. And that should be very clear from their UCL profiles. I think the other thing that's really useful to say to you as you consider coming to UCL is how much career support we have. I have to say, having come from another institution, which will remain nameless, the careers service here is fantastic. It's worthwhile saying, excuse me, that we have 2 different levels of career support for new master's level students. The first being at UCL level. So we have a career service where we have training sessions on things like CV writing, resumes for those of you from North America, how you might get internships, vacation work, developing interview skills. The career service is really, really well resourced, and I would very strongly recommend you engage with the service once you arrive. We also have a school level set of activities led by our careers liaison tutor, who's called Valentina Giordano. Valentina does an absolutely incredible job of interpreting the UCL level resource through the lens of the School of Planning. She has regular networking events with employers from the planning world in London, and actually a little bit further afield, to be fair. She also runs skill sessions, including urban design, skills, etc. So really, really well supported at UCL, and we're rightly proud of the quality of the service. We also have 2 other things. One is that we have regular sessions with the representatives of our current accrediting bodies. So that's the Royal Town Planning Institute and the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. And also we have graduate school level training on offer to you as masters taught students. I think the other exciting thing to say to you about coming to London is that well, firstly, we have really good employment figures. I don't have the more recent figure, but it's certainly similar. I can't remember the exact percentage. But actually, because we're in London, a global city, we have a wide range of careers open to our students. As I've already indicated, all of the programs have direct links to practice. So for example, just out of interest, the studio that I run for the M-Plan 2-year program, which is in the 1st year, this year we're running with Arup, which I'm sure many of you heard of, which is a big multinational, multidisciplinary design practice. And we're working on a site in term 2 together with Arup and one of their directors. So what I'm trying to say to you is because we're such a global city and a global university, we have those connections. And indeed, many students who stay on for a year or two after their programs and work in practice often return to their home countries with that work experience, which is very exciting. I just wanted to say a couple of things about the student experience. Obviously, London, you'll all have heard of London. I'm sure many of you have been to London. This is just a direct quote from one of our students. As a student at the BSP, I've had the chance to connect with peers from diverse backgrounds, learn from practitioners and academics who are experts in their field. UCL's vibrant campus and resources have supported my journey, and they can help you thrive here too. And really I suppose this is just to reiterate that, you don't just come to London to study, you'll come to explore London, explore its amazing range of clubs, societies, museums, galleries, diverse food options, some of the best food in the world from many different cultures and communities. You'll also be exposed to world-leading academics. So having that kind of intellectual stimulation on a daily basis when you're in classes. And of course, I just mentioned the career service too. So I think, sorry, this picture of the quad is a little bit out of date. We're just having that rebuilt according to very clear design principles for the bicentenary next year. But just to say, London is a really exciting global city, which is very welcoming to those of you coming from outside. So I just wanted to say a couple of things about applying before I open the floor to questions and answers. As you'll know, you apply online. Each of the programs has its own application page. So just obviously you'll be aware of that. Applications at this time of year usually take about 6 or so weeks to process. So that includes the initial checking by UCL admissions, the passing on of those applications to the admissions tutors. In most cases, admissions tutors in the school are the program directors with one or two differences. So I, for example, am still the admissions tutor to M-Plan, but Juliana, as I've already indicated, is the program director. You can see here the link on how to apply. I don't know, Shana Meyer, if you could drop that into the chat, that would be really, really kind. Thank you. Details of fees are also available via that link. What I've said here is that specific questions about each program can be sent to the admissions tutor or program director for that course. But of course, you can send them to me and I can either deal with them directly or pass them on if I can't. But in other words, you're very welcome to contact us at any point about any questions related to your applications. And here's the Bartlett email at the bottom is the general admissions email, which is monitored by our colleagues in the school office. What was the other thing I was going to say? No, that's it. So my email is michael.short@ucl.ac.uk should you want to contact me directly. I'll do my best to get back to you within 24 hours if I can. But I can answer any questions subsequent to today's session. So why a master's at UCL? Well, I'm a planner by training. I did a planning undergraduate degree many years ago. London, it's a fantastic profession, really exciting. As many more developed countries in the world move away from unfettered development towards regeneration, conservation of historic environments, planning is a really exciting career. For example, 2 or 3 of us are on our way to Shanghai next week. Yes, next week, to speak to experts at the university there about what lessons in regeneration and conservation terms cities like Shanghai and Beijing can learn from us. So it's really exciting. We're going to see some interesting case studies of conservation projects there as well. UCL, I put, is one of the world-leading universities. It is the world-leading university. And the Bartlett School of Planning, one of the foremost planning schools globally. Just as an aside, we worked out we're the only remaining independent planning school left in the in the UK. So we have a very strong identity in planning in this country too. Our programs are multidisciplinary, comprehensive, with an exciting range of teaching and learning methods and solid skills. So the whole idea of our programs is to equip you with the skills necessary for the world of work. That might be in private practice. It could be in the public realm. It could be in academia. We have lots of students who go on to do PhDs and become academics and researchers. And I would also like to say, just before I open the floor, that one of the other great things, there's lots of nice pictures here. One of the other great things about working as UCL is that we have the best students in the world. Some of the best students in terms of their intellect, the way in which they engage with the programs. Here you can see, these always make me very proud. These are some of the pictures from, I was going to say recent, but there's a few years ago, recent graduation ceremonies for our master's students. Bottom in the middle are the urban design and city planning students from 3 or 4 years ago. And top right, oh yeah, also urban design master's students.